Welcome to this ICFslalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to our 100th episode. Wow, thanks for joining me. This all started at the Laseo World Championships in 2019. The feature of episode 1 was a young American sensation making a splash on the international circuit. So for episode 100, it seemed fitting to go back to Evy Leibfarth to check in again. Here's our latest conversation for this special 100th episode. Episode 1 on the banks of the course in Laseo for the 2019 Worlds was essentially about you. You were 15 at the time, if I recall right, and you just finished 4th in C1 in your first Senior World Championships. So much seems to have happened in that 5 to 6 years since. I don't know, what's been the highlights, all the low points, of that journey? What do you remember?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I still remember being 15 at my first World Championships and, seeing all the big girls out there, all the girls that I'd watched on TV for years and years and years. And I just thought it was so cool to be in the final with them. And honestly, that hasn't changed. I think every time that I'm sitting there waiting to go for the last run of the day or the race, it's still really exciting in that same way. So that's kind of cool. I don't think it's lost its magic. I don't think it ever really will. But I definitely feel a lot more experienced now. I remember a lot of people telling me how much easier racing was going to get as I got older. And, I just kind of knew what was going on more. And I remember I was always telling them, no, I don't think it's that big a part of it. And now I realize that it definitely is. I'd say the highlights are definitely Paris. That was a pretty big one. Just still wrapping my head around it, the whole experience. I don't know. I don't think there's been any low points because there's been seasons where I haven't performed how I wanted, and there's been races that I've done really terribly at. I mean, like flipped, didn't make it to the final, all sorts of things. Feel like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, but that's been all part of the journey, and that's what makes it so beautiful, right? Is that I have those low points, but they brought me to the high point.
So are you still starstruck sitting in finals with Jess and Mylene and kind of many of these names in the sport?
Yeah, of course. I don't know how you couldn't be. I mean, what incredible athletes we have in the sport. It's really cool to see. And I think I'm really lucky that I get to go out there and I get to be inspired by them and my teammates and my friends out there every day.
So Joe Jacoby, who you know well, remarked on your incredible drive. I mean, that was back in 2019. Now subsequently you've raced 2 Olympics, Tokyo and Paris, 4 Senior World Championships, so 2019, 21, 22 and 23. Yeah, tell us about that drive and that motivation.
I guess a lot of it comes from my friends. I would consider myself a pretty driven person. I think I really put, my whole heart and soul into training and competition, and it makes it a lot easier when I'm out there with my best friends doing it. So in all the hard workouts, when it's cold weather or I don't feel like I'm paddling well, I still have them to kind of bring me back up. And I have my dad, who's still my coach, kind of helping me find that motivation. So I think it's just been such a team effort.
You're no stranger to being top boat in the US. I mean, you have been for years. I mean, being top boat even before you were old enough to race for the US team, that is. I mean, through the most recent 2 ICF races, you've had Pan American Championships and team trials. I lost count of how many medals and how much you were on the podium. Give us a rundown of these last sort of few weeks in the US races.
Oh my gosh, the last 2 weeks have been crazy. So we had our first 2 selection races in Alabama, and one of those also happened to be the Pan American Championships. And it was super cool because for our trials, we usually normally only have US boats, and this time we had a bunch of people from North America, South America, Central America. So it was a really cool accumulation of athletes and really good ones. I mean, like Anna Satila was there, Pepe Goncalves. There was a really great field, which I think was cool because it added a little bit more stress to trials. Like already I really wanted to be top boat on the team, but having even more really incredible athletes there just kind of gave me that drive to really push. And It was so much racing. It was 4 runs every day. So a lot of racing.
Okay, so go back to my
And then
question.
we
How many
had
medals did you end up with? Can you remember?
I'm still thinking on that. I don't
Okay.
remember. No. There were just so many
A lot.
races, and the team trials was a little bit different than the Pan American Championships. And then we had two ICF ranking races also. So I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, well, I try and keep
Yeah.
track of all the results, and even I got confused. Yeah, there was too many races going on simultaneously, and then different age categories and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because I think you paddled one under
Yeah, right.
23
It's so
race.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it gets so confusing when there's that many different races going on at once. And, when I'm there, all I'm thinking about is how I can be the fastest possible and how I can make my runs better. And I'm not really thinking about all the different races that are going on because when it comes down to it, I can't think of the results that I want. I can only think of the paddling that I want.
Okay, well,
So
that's
I
all
think
you
my
really
focus
need
was
to
there.
know is which
Yeah,
boat do I need to be in, what time do I need to be on the start line, and the rest of it, yeah, you've done in training.
exactly. I kept forgetting my start times because there were just so many of them. And you don't get your final start time until the semifinal, and then it all changes around. And I was always just running around asking my friends, like, "Hey, so what time's your run? Do we need to get up there?" And one of the Canadian girls, she always writes all her times on her hand, and she was like, "You just need to start doing that." And I remember doing like writing my start times on my hand when I was, I don't know, 8 years old, and I started doing it, and it did significantly help. So sometimes old tricks are good.
Okay, name names. Who's the Canadian that writes the start times on their hand?
Oh my God, I can't expose her.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, I don't want to give the game away. Okay, all right, okay, fair enough. In what way do you think that your style has either evolved through exposure to some of the other top female and maybe even male slalom paddlers and athletes in the world?
I guess my style's changed so much since I was 15 in Theo, just because I've gotten a lot stronger. So I had never been training weights in the gym before that race. And I think that's crazy to me. I look at photos and my arms are tiny, and all I had to, propel me was my speed. And I kind of had that signature stroke. And I think, I hope I still have that, but I think it's definitely toned down a bit as I've been able to get way stronger in the gym and really be able to pull on my strokes. So I guess probably my strokes have slowed down a little bit, but I've gotten a lot quicker. And then I guess just watching some of the really good boats. I mean, everyone just has their own little style pieces, which are really cool to try out. I mean, Ricarda Funk, she has these amazing draw upstreams that are just so much faster than everyone else's. And it's just crazy to me how she can do that on the draw. But I practice those. The French boys have their crazy sweep ups and their crazy offsets where they're cutting everything within like a centimeter of making the gate, and that's pretty cool. So I think learning to paddle a little bit dangerously, like how a lot of the men do, has been kind of fun. I think it's cool to go out there and kind of see what happens and realize that not all my runs have to be perfect. Sometimes I have to really really go for it and take the dangerous line, and that's been fun. But I guess I just spend a lot of time watching the other paddlers and seeing what makes them so fast. Because in this sport, it's cool because everyone has such a different style, but they're within, zero point zero 0.01 seconds of each other. And it's really cool that everyone can have that while paddling differently.
Yeah, there's definitely no right and wrong. Yeah, I mean, we've seen your style and the style of many others. You've also been able to get exposure to many race courses all over the world, many particularly in Europe. And I was looking through, I mean, Tartan, you've medaled at, Krakow, Sao.
Yeah, for sure. I think I used to kind of have an idea in my head of what my best course was, the type of course that I needed to do well. And I think that's really kind of changed and evolved over time. And I've realized that I can do well on any kind of course, but I think that I prefer the ones that are maybe easier water, but tighter gates. I love doing really difficult offsets, just kind of being quick with it. And I think I struggle a little bit more when there's bigger water and bigger moves. But I mean, that's what the course in Paris was. It was kind of big water and big moves. And I think it was cool for me to be able to kind of work on my mental game and the mental side of things and get over that and kind of push that notion out of my head.
Beyond slalom venues, I mean, you're wearing Red Bull now. You've become a Red Bull ambassador, I don't know, whitewater adventure kayaker. I don't know, what else have I missed?
I mean, student.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
other
Yeah, of
thing.
course. Yeah, that's right. You're studying
Yeah.
as well.
But yeah, I think it's cool to kind of get to do it all. And I have really amazing partners that are kind of helping propel me through this journey. I mean, it's crazy. I signed with Red Bull when I was 16, and that's before I really had that many results. And I guess it just really meant a lot to kind of have that group that believed in me and they saw where I could end up and they were willing to, kind of help me on that journey. And all my partners have kind of been along for the ride for the most part, and that's pretty special.
Okay. Well, I mean, your social media would suggest that it's all incredibly glamorous. Is that true, or?
Of course. I mean, if you think, I guess if you think certain things are glamorous, I definitely show the highlights for the most part. But I mean, really, I'm normally training 3 times a day, and I'm studying every other second that I get, and then trying to hang out with my friends when I can. I mean, I live with my two training partners, so that helps a lot. I just always see them, which is amazing. And then, I mean, I get to travel really amazing places all year round, go to really cool events, watch other sports. So yeah, I guess to me it's really glamorous, and to be able to, paddle the way that I want, where I want, it's exactly what I dreamed of when I was younger. I mean, in kindergarten, how you have those like books that you have to draw of when I grow up, I want to be like, I wanted to be an Olympic medalist. That is what I wanted to be, an Olympic medalist and a Red Bull athlete. And I don't know how I knew how cool that was when I was that young, but I saw it maybe last year when I
You
was
need
going through my
bigger
stuff, and I
goals
was like,
now.
wow. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what
but
do you think's
pretty
been the
cool.
hardest part? What has been the hardest part of this sort of 5, 6 year journey?
Um, Probably balancing everything and kind of believing in where I could end up. I think it's really easy a lot of times when you have a bad season or a bad race to kind of start to think that maybe I'm not cut out for this. So I think there's definitely been some hurdles that I've kind of had to get over that way, but I'm really glad that I had those moments where, I wasn't sure if I was cut out for it and I wasn't sure if it was right for me, because it allowed me to get over it and realize, all the things that I do love about the sport and all the things I love about competition and pushing myself. But definitely I'm always trying to do it all. I mean, I do 3 classes. I also do whitewater paddling. I try to do social media all the time, and I'm studying full time. So it's a lot kind of on my plate, I guess. But I think that's the way I work best under pressure and, without a lot of time. I just love that. I love always moving and always, working towards a goal and kind of jumping between them a bit.
In that way, you haven't changed one bit from the who I met in SAO in 2019. I mean, at that stage, one could say you were only doing 2 classes. You were only doing C1 and K1. Now, of course, you're doing C1, K1, and kayak cross as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's been so cool learning kayak cross. I mean, in 2019, it was in its infancy. I know I did a couple World Cups. Actually, it was my first World Cup medal in Bratislava. And then just seeing the sport grow and change, and there's so much technique now. And you look at a heat, and every single heat is what, like, you'd say, like, is a bad heat, because all the girls are just so good at it and so talented. So yeah, it's been fun learning that. It's been tricky. It's a lot different than, traditional slalom, but I love it.
Okay, you seem to be doing incredibly well, and you seem to be enjoying it as well. So let's talk about US. I mean, you've got Worlds coming to Oklahoma City in 2026 and LA 2028. I was also reading the piece in the Oklahoma this week about you. I mean, it's a good time to be a US Olympic medalist. I guess I haven't actually said congratulations on bronze in Paris yet. I mean, long ago, Casey Eichfeld noted that you were one of the most inspiring next generation of US paddlers.
That's crazy to me. I don't know. I wouldn't say that yet, but I hope I can do my part. It's cool because there's been so many people who've supported me on this journey, older teammates and Olympians from 20 years ago, and all my coaches, and kind of just everyone in this really cool kayaking community that I've grown up with. And it's cool to think that I can, be that person for someone else, that one day I'm going to be able to help someone else on their journey and, help them accomplish their goals and hopefully inspire them. And I don't know. It's still so crazy to me.
Okay. Well, I mean, the weather wasn't the best for Olympic for trials, US trials and races this year, but I mean, we're hoping obviously that for Worlds and Olympics, we're going to have much better weather, therefore lots more spectators and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, for you to be an Olympic bronze medalist, you've put that stamp on it, then of course it's going to attract interest both from older and young spectators coming to Oklahoma City, and other US venues. That must make you very proud.
Definitely. And I think it's going to be really cool to have the Olympics in Oklahoma because that is not the place you think of whitewater, right? Like if someone would have told you that the Olympics were going to be for canoe slalom were going to be in Oklahoma like 15 years ago, what would you have said? For me, it's just not where I think of, being like a whitewater hub. And I think for a lot of
Well,
people,
no, you're right.
Like you don't connect Oklahoma with whitewater usually. And I think it's cool that we're going to kind of build that connection and we're going to show people that this is a spot where you can learn to kayak and where you can grow as an athlete and also where you can go out and watch a bunch of super cool Olympians race. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's great to plant courses in new parts of the US in this sense. That haven't been exposed to whitewater before. I mean, we know that Oklahoma City is a sporting mecca and can put on very large sporting events in other sports. So, yeah, I mean, that should give us a lot of confidence that, Oklahoma City will step up and, do amazingly well both for Worlds and Olympics.
For sure. And it seems like there's a really great team of people behind it right now who are just gonna create a really awesome event. I mean, Paris was the most incredible thing. They did such a great job. I had a great time. My family had a great time. All my friends had a great time. And so it's exciting to see people seeing that and, shooting above it, shooting for, how can we make this the most special Olympics ever?
Okay, amazing.
But thank you so much for having me on again. It's kind of crazy that it's been so long since the first episode.
Did you go back and listen to that first episode again?
No, I haven't yet. I've actually been I've been filming for the past week, so I haven't had a chance to do anything else, but I definitely want to go back and listen, but I don't know if I can. I feel like my voice is going to be very high and scratchy and hurt my ears.
That was very right. Well, that might be true actually, but anyway, so that very first episode of this podcast. So thank you. I mean, you were the big sensation of 2019 by far. So it was a delight to talk to other people. Mylene, Jess, I don't know, so many athletes, Yuri Priskovic, about Evy Leibfarth and the impact that you'd made. So it's about 15 minutes long. But you should go back and listen to it. It's kind of funny to hear it again.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
It was Mikael Smolin in there, Casey Eichfeld, a number, Joe Jacoby, of course. And others. I'm hoping that, maybe we can check back, I don't know, so 200th episode. Or I guess the other thing for you is you're still looking for a senior worlds title.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm still looking for a World Cup win and a World Championship win. So I won my first ever senior race this year in Australia at the Oceania Championships. I'd never actually won a senior race. I've been on the podium a bunch, but I never won, and I think that was kind of crazy. So I'm definitely, after Paris, it kind of gave me a chance to sit back and reevaluate what I want my goals to be. And, I'm ready to shoot high and train really hard for it. So we'll see where that takes me.
Okay, so let's just finish by talking about Penrith. So Worlds in October. I think you've raced at the course before in Penrith, but I mean, what's your impression of it and kind of the build up to Worlds?
It's actually my favorite course in the world. I love going there over the winter. I'm usually there for 2 to 3 months, kind of chasing summer around. So I feel like I know it really well. It's somehow another home course for me a little bit. I've just spent so much time there, and I think it's a really fun course that you can just really go for it on. And I'm stoked for Worlds there. It'll be a great event.
So how much time are you going to spend in Penrith between now and October?
Oh, as much as I can. I'm going to do the full World Cup season in Europe, and then right after I'm going to fly over. And it's really my favorite place. So as much as I can get.
Yeah, it's just been a pleasure to watch you over the last 5-6 years just evolve both as an athlete and as a person as well. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a fun journey, and I'm excited for it to keep going.
That was Evy Leibfarth, Olympic bronze medalist in C1 Women from Paris 2024. She talked to us from the US National Whitewater Center outside Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Thanks to my guest today, Evy Leibfarth. So happy I could convince her to come back and chat again. Since that first episode in 2019, Evy has won Olympic bronze, 5 World Cup race medals, junior and under-23 World Championship titles in K1, plus 2 other medals in C1. In kayak cross, she has won 2 golds at the Junior Worlds and bronze at Senior Worlds. And thinking of Laseo, we are back there for Worlds in 2027, pre-Olympic year before the next Olympics. That will be a pivotal race for many. If you never heard that very first episode, it's still interesting to go back and listen to the impressions of 11 of the biggest names in the sport describing Evy. There is a link in the show notes. It also seems timely to thank the 142 different guests from 24 different countries who have contributed to these first 100 episodes. My thanks to Andy Maddock, whose voice has provided the beginning and end of each episode. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people. Send them a link, like, follow, or write a review. If you need more, keep reading Ettore Evaldi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.